Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for coming by for the No BS social media update. A lot of times I get asked about work and play when it comes to social media. How do you combine the two into one? And I really think the answer is, well, you don't. It's important to have your private life. It's important to keep your private and your professional, well, sometimes as far away as possible, let's be honest. A lot of times, and I go back to the early days of social media, back to just MySpace, when we would actually look for people to hire at the radio station, and we would go through their MySpace pages just to see about their secret life, about their private life. You don't necessarily want to be in that regard. Now, let's be honest. I think it's important to always stay above board. It's always important not to do the drunken photos, the late at night photos, the troublesome photos that can get you in trouble when it comes to work. Can you have private and public? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram? Sure you can. It all depends on how well you keep them hidden. Now, I'll say this with a grain of salt. I actually have, well, both a private and a public, or a work and a play, if you will, on every one of those accounts. But the one thing I do is I make sure it's always no more than PG-13 and usually G-rated on everything. Let's be honest, I'm an old fat guy anymore. I don't go out and do a lot of drunken debauchery. Okay, I don't do any drunken debauchery, but that's not the point. Number one, even if I did, I wouldn't do it on social media. You know how fast that gets around. And number two, it's going to be found somehow. So it's one thing, and like I said, especially if you're a recording artist, if you're a media celebrity, if you're using social media for business, especially Facebook, well, then you're going to have a page and a profile. Now, a lot of times what I do with my artists, and again, I've talked to multi-platinum recording artists, is they have a private profile that's hidden, may not even be under their real name, or maybe under their real name, not their stage name, and it's literally cut off to the entire world except for people they're friends with, and most people only have 4 or 5 friends. Now, a lot of times with independent recording artists, when I start out with them, they may have 400 or 500 friends on Instagram, or friends on Facebook, if you will, and when they start creating a profile, they don't know how to merge the two. And I just say, you know what? Ignore the personal stuff, leave the personal stuff personal. In fact, if anything, make your personal stuff for family only, for friends only, for people who really you know and care that you can chat with behind the scenes, and use the page for everything else. I think it's important to be able to do things that way. Same thing with Twitter. Now, you can keep it private. You can hide your Instagram profiles and your Twitter profiles and make them private, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, I have no problem with you doing that. But I think it's important to be able to keep a fine balance. To me, the more you keep on the public profile, the more you keep on the professional profile, the better. But it has to stay on point. It has to stay on message. It has to stay with, well, what you're doing. Private, if you must, go ahead. But again, keep it locked down, keep it hidden, keep it as, away from the public as possible. And don't for a minute think that there aren't hackers out there who can't get into it and, well, find it and share it with the world. You've heard all those stories about those women who had naked photos on their phones. All the big celebrities had naked photos on their phones, and somebody was able to hack into their iTunes account, or their iCloud account, if you will, or able to hack into their phone. I don't know how they did that, but there are a lot of smart people out there, a lot of people who know what they're doing, know how they're doing, and all that. So I think it's important for you to understand that's possible. But it's okay to have public and have private, as long as the private isn't going to get you in trouble. Just a little food for thought. So it's okay to be both public and private. It's okay not to share everything online. That's an even better scenario. Back next week, another No BS social media chat. Real simple, nobssocial.com. You can find all of our videos, all 200 plus videos right there. And what's amazing is I've gone back through some of the archives looking at some topics and things like that, and almost every one of those 200 plus videos is still relevant to this day. Wow, hard to believe that. You can also find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube. As I always end the video, wherever you found us last week or this week, you'll find us again there next week, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, or whether it's at nobssocial.com. If you want to find me, want to email, want to text, want to talk by phone, phone number, email address, they're all coming up here at the end of the video. Thanks so much for coming by. See you next week. Thanks.